Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in, as they say, on all the best televisual programs. I'm just going to do a quick demonstration of a line and wash, again in two parts. I'll do the line drawing. I'm going to do it in my trusty old sketchbook. This is a sea white sketchbook. I will admit I'd already done two lines, and then I thought, yeah, I'll film this and people might like to see it. So you've already got two lines in, but I'm going to crack on with this. This is a farmhouse that we saw when we were up in the Lake District. It's near Troutbeck. I've already cropped in my reference, the original photograph, because it had a lot more of the wall on and a bit more of the scenery. So I've zoomed in because it was this gable end and this lovely perspective there, and the way this farmhouse just kind of nestles in. I still haven't decided yet how I'm going to treat all this. Obviously there's the obligatory wall there. We'll talk about that in a bit. I may edit out that tree, but let's have a crack. So as you can see, I'm using a really fine pen. I'm using a 0.05. So let me see if I can get this back in. The groove is where I was. Again, I'm just drawing, trying not to look at the paper too much, rather look at the scene and trust that the brain and the coordination right. So that gable comes up there and the end gable is there. There's the end of chimney pot, and then that runs at that angle, so that the second one, so I'm holding my breath here because I need to get this absolutely right. And then the second one, you can't see anything of the roof line because perspective has really foreshortened things. Right, now then, there is a smaller building there, and funnily enough, that looks odd, but it'll make some sense when I, hopefully when I've finished it. I can't quite make out what that is in the middle there. It looks like kind of a gully of some sort. And then running up there, there's another building. You see, if this happens, there's a line, I've drawn that line too far, but do you know what? It doesn't flipping matter. It's only a drawing in a book. And it's only to keep my hand in while we're still all kind of restricted as to when, where and how we can or can't go anywhere. That needs to come there. That comes down. Now here there's kind of an enclosure look of a fence. What I'm going to try and do in the editing of this video is I'm going to try and superimpose the reference photograph in the bottom left hand corner. I've seen it done, so it must be doable. So it's whether or not my video editing skills are up to the challenge. Right, there's a window in there. I like to get windows in at a fairly early stage. It helps you to keep track of, well, it helps me to keep track. And again, I think as I've said this, well, I've said it at many demos, I prefer to do, let's have a look. See, I've already dropped a clanger here because that fence thing there runs up. So let's put this window in, which is a bit lower than I wanted it to be, but hey ho. It's only a sketch, and it's only a quick sketch. Let's put these bits of detail in. And that goes up there. That comes down there. So what I'll do is try and get some interest in early. I'm doing the lines of the roofs. You see, it doesn't matter about that line because I can fudge that, and you don't see it now. There's some kind of a skylight there, so let's put some of those on. And because we've done that, we'll have to do it at this side. Because at the distance it is, you wouldn't actually see, all you'd see are lines. You won't see the individual slates on the roof. I'll do these very, very faintly, and it's easy to do them faintly in a 0.05. Because it's really fine. I'm pressing on quite hard because which is unusual for me, because I think this is quite an old pen, and it's drying out a little, which I don't really mind too much. But generally when I'm using these fine liners, I do like to let the weight of the pen dictate just how smoothly and quickly the line flows. But in a new pen, the ink flows a lot more freely than in this dried out older pen. So there you go. That's the first stage. A bit more of this fence here, and then there's another bit more of the fence goes that way. There's a kind of a courtyard there, and this is why I love these sea white books, because it opens flat across the spread. So let's just get the line of this wall in and get the, I'll finish this off. I'll put more detail on. And what I'm going to do here, this is the upper line of these wonderful Lakeland stones that are, I was looking over a wall at this. I'm just going to get these in to give it some perspective and scale. I'll come back to this and put a lot more detail in. You see, I think this pen's about on its last legs. Right, and then over here, I think there's a thing on. About there's another building there, look, that comes across. This double page spread. And actually this other building it looks a lot more interesting because it's a bit more dilapidated, but I couldn't get much nearer to it. So we've got in there, and then there's another wall comes out, and a couple of trees. I will put these trees in, but only in like a rudimentary outline shape. I may or may not. And let's put a line across there, and then the line of the field goes in, and one comes down. Another meadow there, paddock, really sweepy one there, and here's a conglomeration of trees. Right, and from here that part of the building is white, so let's get these windows in. And at this distance, you only need a couple of strokes, look, to get the suggestion of the window panes in. Another wall there. And there's a tree there, so this might look rudimentary, but again, these demos are, this is what I would kind of look to draw if I was actually there out in the field and draw this. You wouldn't want to draw every detail. There's another downstairs window, and it's got just 3 in, and there's some more greenery there. So that'll do for stage 1 of the drawing.